along to golf today. USPGA final major of the year is being played at the Oak Hill Country Club. Last time it was played there was 2003, where the very much unknown, and still probably very much unknown, Sean McKeel won it. I'm touching on just basic thoughts of how you think this week's going as far as favourites to look at, and then we can get into some more dishy golfing news from you.
Excitement of the Masters, the US Open, and the Open. But people must remember, after this is 8 months till the next major. So embrace it this week. Return to Oak Hill, where, yeah, as you say, fantastic finish in 03 for whoever to watch Sean McKeel, Chad Campbell final pairing. McKeel hit it to about 2 or 3 inches on the last hole to win.
He did indeed, yeah, with the 7-iron.
Yeah, which, the PGA has delivered some great finishes in recent years, and I think it needs to get the kind of credit it deserves. Look, it's the strongest field, well, not many people know this, of a major each year, because you don't have any qualifiers or kind of ancient old champions. You do have club pros that qualify.
Yes, I was going to say.
They're quite a small contingent.
Barry, how many club pros do get into the mix there?
Well, I think it's about 8, 10, around that.
Nominal.
They're because part of the PGA of America, but it certainly is the strongest field. So you have the entire top 100. So this is the tournament that is least likely to offer like a real long shot in coming through, because you've got anyone in the top 100 really in the world now can contend in a major. I quite fancy the Americans to do well this week. Strong contingent there. Jason Duffner, Zach Johnson in good form recently, and I think this kind of golf course, kind of like a US Open style golf course up in upstate New York, Oak Hill. Even Dustin, did I say Dustin Johnson? Or
you
Zach
did.
Johnson?
You started with Dustin, all smiles.
Yeah. Both Johnsons, and then Matt Kuchar again. I've been tipping him for a while in a major. He won the Players last year.
Yeah, but Barry, he strikes me as a Hunter Mayhem kind of guy. He's there and about, but if you can actually go and get the major, sure, it's a tough one to call that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that winning that Players last year has gone a long way to, for him to contend in their big events. I just think his time is coming soon. The other thing about the PGA, we've had such success, the South Africans recently in recent years. I think since 2008 we've won every year, a major every year except '09. But the PGA has not been a good hunting ground for South Africans.
Not at all.
Only Gary Player has won 62 and 72.
Yeah.
Nick Price, the Southern African, has been successful more recently. Ernie's been second and third a couple of times, but it's time for our guys to step up here. And interesting as well is the President's Cup standings at the moment. We've got 6 guys in the top 10, which if the team was picked tomorrow, which would be fantastic. However, we've got Tim Clark is at number 10, Stoney is at number 8, so they need to have solid weeks to kind of secure their position in the team. The team's only been picked at the end of August during the FedEx Cup playoffs, so they've also got those events. But for someone like Stoney, he doesn't qualify for the FedEx Cup, so he needs a good week this week to secure his place. And then you've got George Coetzee, who's at number 12 in the standings. So we could have a scenario where there's 7 South Africans in the President's Cup team.
That's brilliant.
Come beginning of October, yeah.
Barry, before we get on to other things, just the question is always asked, and obviously after a 7-shot win last week, after his 23rd win at Firestone, Tiger,
most boring golf course on the planet.
It looks like that, huh? It really does. It's just surrounded by people who work for Bridgestone as well, so I don't think the most dynamic area in the world either. But the thing that all comes into it is this the major that Tiger's going to win? Is this number 15? If you look at the course, he hasn't played so well there. It doesn't particularly suit him, some people say. This is just early bump that you always read on the various sites. We have to look at his chances. And
carry on.
British Open, he hit it good. he said he didn't adapt to the putting. But then again, he was leaving himself 60-footers for most of the weekend. So what's your take on his game right now, and how much can we take of the fact that he blew the field away last week?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. For me, Tiger has got to change his game plan when things are not going so well. We've seen it in recent years now since he's come back, and where he plays this kind of conservative game plan, and if he starts falling behind, he doesn't change that. So, for instance, at Muirfield, he starts falling 3 or 4 shots behind, but he doesn't then start heading driver and giving himself more birdie opportunities.
Yeah.
We saw it last year at the US Open, and he's been going backwards on the weekends at majors. And I think that's the biggest thing for Tiger right now, is that he's set on this kind of conservative game plan, and that the field will come back to him, but it hasn't actually happened. But putting for me is still the biggest thing with him. I think he's hitting the ball great this year. Obviously last week at Firestone, when he putts well, he blows away the field. But again, we've made this point early in the year where he wins on the same golf course over and over again. So Bay Hill, Doral, here again at Firestone. He's comfortable there. He knows what it takes to keep the ball in play, and if he has a good putting week, he wins. Oak Hill, similar to Merion, where it's a US Open style golf course, it has trickier green complexes.
Yeah.
So, watch Tiger on the greens this week. I think that's the key for him.
But I like the way he touched on that he's got these courses that suit his eye. And look, I mean, I think Legend golf course in this country suits my eye, and that's one course. Tiger can do it competitively on like 4 or 5, which I think is quite amazing for him. But it's a point I was trying to make with a mate of mine over the weekend. Yes, Mike, I know you're listening. Is that he was saying, because I've got this bet with him, and yes, it's a bit of a cheeky bet from my side. I say Tiger will never win another major, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I was saying to him, the point I was trying to make is that Tiger is a real horses for courses kind of guy, and when he dominates, he dominates. But then you get him in a position, like in the majors, and you touched upon it now, is that he can't adapt his game plan when things aren't going so well. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, as he gets slightly longer in the tooth, and now he is, 38, late 30s, is it going to be harder for him to ever adapt, or is it just a mindset which he isn't interested in ever changing?
Well, I think the big thing that's happened is that his name on the leaderboard, on a major leaderboard, isn't sparking as much fear into the other players as it used to. So psychologically, the other players do not fear him as much because they've seen him go backwards on the weekend in majors. And we saw in 2009 in the PGA significantly was when Y.E. Yang beat him, the first time that Tiger had not won a major after having the 54-hole lead. Yep. And that kind of sends a message out to the players, I think. And I just believe that he needs to be more attacking and more aggressive in the majors. For the first time at Muirfield, I got the sense that I don't think this record is in reach. I do think he will win a couple more majors, but time is slipping away, albeit he's only 37, 38 at the end of this year. But Tiger's an old 38. He's had reconstructed.
He's got mileage on the clock.
3-4 times. He's Tiger. He's 37, but he's an old 37. He's been through a lot, and as strong as he is mentally, all those years of being in contention and the pressure of coming down the stretch in a major championships, that does wear on you.
Yeah.
As great as a champion Tom Watson was, he lost his putting in his late 30s, early 40s, and you can't beat time in any sport. And I think Tiger's getting to that stage now where he's starting to feel the pressure of time. He's got 14. He needs another 4 to tie, 5 to get the record. For the first time in his career, and I've covered his whole career, at Muirfield, I'm doubtful whether he'll get it.
Well, just to give you a little interesting insight on that, Barry, you say he's 38 in December, and he's old 38. A lot of junk in that trunk. It's said to make his 64th professional major start at Oak Hill. Nicklaus won his 15th title in his 67th at the age of 38. So basically where they are right now is actually quite a neck and neck. Nicklaus then won
Yes.
two more at the age of 40, with his last at 46 for the 1986 Masters. So it's a very good point that you make. Well, I move away from the microphone unprofessionally. It's a very good point that you make that he's actually a very old 37, whereas Jack is almost like he didn't time his run because Jack was just great and he didn't really care that much. He was just hugely talented. Whereas so people are always going to draw comparisons between the two. But as you say, look, I think the record's well and truly gone. Now is the whole thing is, can he adapt and can he actually just win a couple? You would think in the next two British Opens, because they've Hoylake and St Andrews, there would be certainties for him, technically speaking. But then again, it's the adaptation that which you bring up, and it's a wonderful insight. See, Barry, this is why we call you. This is why we call you. So,
100%. I mean, that's the deal with Tiger. He's for me, he's got to be more aggressive on with his game plan on the weekends, especially when he doesn't have the lead and he has to play catch up, because history has shown that he doesn't do well in majors playing catch up.
So what you're saying is that Tiger Woods is the Stormers.
In what?
Well, once he's behind, he's not going to win.
Look, I think, as I say, a couple of majors, 2 or 3. I don't see, Jack's longevity was incredible. But one thing we need to give Tiger, look closely at. He's coming up to Sam Snead's record of PGA Tour wins. I think Firestone was number 79. Snead's record is 82. That is, an unbelievable stat. Mickelson has 40 PGA Tour wins, and look at the career he's had, and he started before Tiger. When Tiger gets that record, and he will get that record, that is never mind majors. That is one of the greatest achievements in the history of golf.
Sure. And I would think doing that before you're 40 is just a mind-blowing thing.
But Barry,
exactly.
But look, to put it in context, yes, it's a great achievement. But how many worldwide wins?
Well, what has Tiger wanted to do? I mean, in his career, does he consider himself a global player, or he's been fortunate in that all these World Golf Championships are mainly concentrated in America.
Yeah.
So the tournaments come to him, and he's been to China. Tiger's done his time in terms of spreading the game and going to different countries, especially when the money's right. But look, he's not a global player like Ernie Els is. But 82 when he ties that record, 82 tour wins is an unbelievable mark.
It is indeed. But look, I think when all is said and done, when he doesn't reach Jack's record, how interested he'll be as being a senior pro will also be very interesting, because I reckon he'll get to the point so Rick can start it. I'm not going to beat Jack. I'm throwing this in. I'm not doing this anymore because, as you say, the pressure and all that kind of stuff. Barry, what's happening in the latest edition of Golf Digest? Well, we have to pitch you off here because we have to get to football at some stage in this show.
Sure, yeah. We're just actually signing off on our September issue, but August is out now. Nice insight into the FedEx Cup and the PGA, some nice stories there. Just one thing quickly, wrote a column about Charles Schwartzel in the latest issue, and about some of the anger management issues that are affecting him. We saw him break a golf club at Muirfield in the first round, and just kind of see him boiling over a little bit. And I've just kind of analyzed that, so you can look out for that, and just maybe that he needs a little bit of guidance at this stage of his career.
I think he does. I really think he do. Fantastic talent, so prodigious off the tee. I mean, he's got the length, he's got the short game, he's got the precision with the irons, but he's got a face like a smacked ass, and I think he needs to address that. He needs to actually get a bit of a smile going. It doesn't look like he enjoys the game. It looks like he's doing it for mortgage, like he's doing it for a bond. He just doesn't look like he's enjoying it whatsoever. And I think the moment he can actually rediscover that, then we've got another world beater again on our hands.
Sure. Charles is he's quite introverted on the golf course. Off the course, he's personable. He's a little bit like in the Retief Huisman mode. But I just feel that he needs to kind of endear himself a little bit more to the fans, and he's getting a little bit of a reputation in the media and with fans of being a bit not sour, but as you say, just to smile a little bit more and just to make it look like he is enjoying what he does for a living.
Yeah. All right, Barry, got you off there. Catch Barry on the Twitter at Loose Impediment. Obviously through this weekend, the long weekend here in SA, we've got the USPGA Champs to look forward to. Sean, we need to get into football. Barry, we have to say goodbye. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you back.
Good stuff, guys.
We'll chat again. FedEx Cup, I think. It's such a big deal that all the best players vying for stupid amounts of money. But yeah, thanks, Barry. We'll catch you back after that.
Okay, man.